Alrighty, folks, welcome back for the final match here. We are bringing to you live on RMU Rec Sports. It is one of the final games of pool play here today. It is not the last one, but it's in the final three of. And it will be RMU Navy taking on Duquesne, as you heard from Caden earlier today, or like a few minutes ago, that this Duquesne team comes off a 2-0 win over RMU Red. RMU Navy, who we saw play earlier, split their series with Slippery Rock, who was a very strong team. So both of these teams, I think, will have the opportunity to really put some stuff together here.
Yeah, if Duquesne's able to win one or even two of this match, I don't see how they don't get a very high seed, either one or two.
Yeah, really. And for the RMU Blue side, I'm pretty sure they I think they won one of their games earlier and tied the other one. So they're running, I think, a little positive at the moment. But a win here over Duquesne would be huge for their bracket seeding. And a loss here would actually probably put them in a pretty big hole. So this is a pretty big game for the RMU Blue side.
Yeah, plenty of implications here.
But we are underway, and it starts with an early point for RMU Blue. That was tucked home by, I want to say, number 5? That would have been number 5, Kenzie Olwine.
Just lands on the line there to get RMU the first point of the match.
Served in here by the Colonials and just barely past the baseline, and I do mean just barely.
Very close there.
That was, I believe, number 3, Kate Hovanek, who served that one in just wide. Well, either way, we're trying to find some other folks from our production team. They kind of wandered off here.
Gone way wide there to give RMU the 2-1 lead early for number 21, Kendall Sandrock. Serve sent over. Number 7 returns. That is don't know who that is.
Fair enough.
I believe it's Maddie Scott.
It looks like maybe Matea. Maybe Matea Scott.
Okay.
Either way, going Duquesne's way there. So there is a bit of a hold up here. I think they're trying to figure out whose point that actually was. They're getting the scoreboard fixed.
It's going RMU's way.
So it'll be RMU's serve. Duquesne sets it up here on the near side. Dug out nicely, though, in the far corner. RMU not able to get it back across the net, though. There was a meeting there on that far net side corner, but it falls the way of Duquesne.
Duquesne getting the serve back here, trailing by 1 early on. She's gone way back to serve.
There we go. There she is. So, almost dug out there by RMU, but unable to do so. Got low on it to try and pick it up was Kate Hovanek, but not able to get the height on it for one of the forward players to play. Tie game at 3.
Got low and kept it low, unfortunately.
Served in there into the net from the Duquesne serve. I believe that was a number 1, Lexi Rozanovic. So it will be the Colonials serve, and going back to serve this one away, I want to say, is Emmeline Malcolm.
Gives RMU the lead and control.
Served in. Duquesne setting something up right in front of the net here. Picked up, though, by the Colonials and sent across. Both sides volleying on as Duquesne with a missile going across the court there. Finds that near sideline, and that will be a point for the Dukes. I mean, that you couldn't do it much better than that.
Very strong spike there for Alexis Troy.
Yeah, so I mean, that thing had some pace and it had a lot of accuracy, which is a deadly combination when there's that open room like that.
Yeah, she found her spot and hit it very quickly.
So it'll be Bree Finn serving here for Duquesne. Served in. Picked up by Victoria Ely. Sent over to the near side or the far side. And now both sides scrambling forward a little bit. Dug out nicely there by Ely, and now it's Kaloya who puts it across, and that'll be a point for, I want to say, actually, that might have been out.
Duquesne's point. I believe she touched the net there.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Right. can't do that one.
Oh, nearly flying into the bleachers there. That could have been a little rough, but able to check up in time. But unfortunately, it's going to cost a point there for RMU. I mean, that's just a tough scenario there with the way the rec center is laid out. Because you need to be able to seat people as that serve from Duquesne goes wide.
Right, giving the serve back to RMU. Battle here, RMU trying to get the ball back over and do successfully.
Sent over to the far corner, and RMU is able to handle that. Sends it back the other way. Really got low to dig it out was the Duquesne back line, but unable to get it up off the ground. And that will be a point for RMU. It's been a pretty back and forth game so far early here, Nate.
Yeah, it has. Nobody really taking command early on so far.
Yeah, once one team starts to get a little bit of momentum, it seems to halt for some reason or another, and then the other team starts to put a couple together. As Duquesne has to go way back to get that one, but able to do so. RMU looking to set up an attack here. Goes off to the corner. Oh, and that threaded. Oh, nope, they're saying that one out. I really thought that threaded the back line.
I did too. I thought it was in for RMU.
But both line judges say that was out, so we got to go with that decision. But they had probably a little bit of better view. But from our angle, that looked like it was pretty close.
Yeah, I'd say there's a good reason we aren't line judges.
Yeah. So 7-7 your score. Ely picks it up, sends it across there, and that was Malcolm who went over there, but it was dug out there by Kylie.
It seems this RMU team has been able to space the ball around their team better to get the ball over the net instead of going right into spike against two Duquesne defenders as the red team did for RMU.
That is true, yeah. It's a very different change in tactics as far as how they want to approach their attack. And that, I mean, that comes with the territory, you know, a different team, different lineup, different people who can do different things.
Yeah, different abilities.
Yeah, and I think they're playing to those abilities, but I think the matchup here on the RMU side is a much better fit to attack the Duquesne defense than maybe the RMU red side had earlier today. I think that's a very astute observation.
Indeed.
So, getting ready to serve it here. It is tied at 8-8, and I believe it will be number 26, Ashley Kiley, or who will be serving it in here for Duquesne. Served in. And
Looks
that was
long.
Yeah, that RMU celebrating, which is usually my telltale sign from this angle that means that ball passed the baseline, RMU's point, and now the Colonials with the 1-point lead.
Usually I just go off of who gets the serve, but that works too.
That probably is actually the more effective way to go about it, but you know, sometimes I just go, oh, I gotta know, and I just guess.
Right.
So served in here for RMU.
RMU libero serving there.
Absolutely, that is Victoria Ely, who I think's been a long-time member of this team. I don't know what year she, but I distinctly remember her being the libero for when they played Slippery Rock last year, which was the only time we got to see the RMU women's club volleyball team last year. So her, like a number of the other players on this team, at least been around. This is for their second year. There could be more, though, but I don't. Oh, is that out?
I believe it was long.
Wow, that threaded the needle there, but just not quite close enough.
Yeah, in the perfect spot for RMU as it was out of bounds.
Absolutely. So it will be the Colonials to serve here.
Trailing by 1.
Absolutely. 10-9, your score at the moment. Nice play there for Duquesne to try and attack the side, but RMU is able to recover and not able to make a play happen there near the net front was Emmeline Malcolm. And now Duquesne leads by 2.
Falling away, trying to hit it over the net there, just couldn't get enough on it.
And yeah, it's tough when you're falling away from the net because it just limits the amount of power you can really get. And more importantly, the amount of height you can get on that ball when you're not going the same direction as it.
Yeah, using your momentum to get a stronger hit is definitely important.
Speaking of momentum, Malcolm there tried spiking a through, or that was Debucci who tried getting a through. But Duquesne able to recover and then blocked at the net front there. That ball is just getting juggled around, but eventually it falls in RMU's favor. It was tough to call there because that ball just went bing, bang, bing, bang, like like 3 or 4 times just back and forth over the net.
Very impressive sequence for RMU to get the ball over there, and then Duquesne, unfortunately for them, just couldn't get it back over.
Absolutely. And it is a 1-point game at the moment. RMU with a substitution here. It looks like Kate Hovanek back in to serve away for the Colonials. Ball is up. Well over the net. I thought that might have actually went wide if they didn't play it. That one, though, does indeed go wide, and that is a point for RMU, and this game is tied.
Seems both teams are just hitting the ball a little too strong early on, maybe a little too excited to get in this match.
About to say, a little amped up. You know, it's I mean, both of these teams have had a pretty good day so far, so I'm pretty sure they'd be excited to take each other on as battle like two teams that are up near the top half of the group here.
There's always a little extra energy when RMU and Duquesne go down.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially at the club sport level, because most of your opponents are just like local rival stuff.
Right.
You see them regularly. So, these two teams are very familiar with each other, and these two schools at the club sport level are very familiar with each other because we'll see them play club hockey. We'll see them play like volleyball. We'll see them do. I know they've competed against each other in like club golf.
Right.
It doesn't matter what sport it is. These two teams usually seem to find each other in competition.
Just about a 20-minute drive down to Duquesne, so these teams match up fairly often.
Yeah, it's nice though. It's now you don't have like the 3-hour commutes out to like Columbus or something.
Right.
So Duquesne sets it up, goes on the near side here, and unable to dig it out was the RMU back line. That is a point for the Dukes. In a second here, we will get the score relay. It's funny because from this court, we can't actually see the scoreboard from our angle, so we are solely relying on former color commentator who will be back on the mic actually pretty soon here, Cade McCrory. He's being our eyes today for the scoreboard at the moment. Currently 13-13. Thank you, Caden. And we're making it work because the scoreboard more is for the players and for the folks in the stands over there. Not necessarily conducive for our broadcast up here, Nate.
Yeah, I believe that was number 2, Amelin Malcolm.
Yep.
Sending it in the net there for RMU to give Duquesne the lead and the serve.
It'll be Bree Finn serving for Duquesne. RMU pops it up, sends it across lightly, just trying to regroup defensively.
Yeah, just had to get it over there. Not too worried about earning the point there. Just living to fight another day.
Oh, nearly across the top of the net there. Morgan Chloea tried getting it up. It just kind of bounced off the top of the net. It was tough because all 3 of those hits for RMU were so close to the net. But Duquesne now leads by 2, and they're looking for more.
And that one just bounces right over the net. Lucky bounce there for Duquesne. Number 18, Bree Finn, sending it over to give the Dukes a 3-point lead, which is, I believe is the largest lead we've had so far in this match.
If it's not the largest, it would be tied 4. Is that one out of play, and just like that, that lead shrinks once again.
Right. Seems like both teams can't seem to gain more than 3 points in a row.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. It's been a very back and forth sort of game. But now it'll be the Colonials to serve, trailing by 2, looking to cut the deficit to 1. Duquesne sets it up, and it just snuck through the hands of Chloea, and unable to get there in time was Kenzie Olawine. 17-14 the score.
A little confusion here from the server for Duquesne, not too sure what to do. Number 5, Alexis Troy.
Yeah, a bit of a conversation with the bench there. I think they were thinking about maybe making a sub, but elected against it. That one up into the stands, caught by the fellow right by the out-of-bounds pylon. Good catch by him, but that is going to result in a Duquesne point.
I believe that was Liz Sarasnick sending it into the stands for RMU.
I thought you were about to say the guy who caught it was Liz Sarasnick. I was like, I don't know if Sarasnick was the one who caught that. Speaking of, she gets that one past the Duquesne defenders, and that will be a point for the Colonials. So nice little rebound effort there on the next play to get the serve back for RMU.
Yeah, ball lands out of bounds there, but hits off a Duquesne player, so point for RMU.
And I saw senior Lauren DeBucci subs back in here for the Colonials. We saw a lot of her in the first RMU Blue game versus Slippery Rock. Not as much here against Duquesne, maybe taking a bit of a breather trying to get set for the bracket play later today. As Ely gets under that one and sends it across, and they point for Duquesne. I don't know exactly what happened. I think maybe someone touched the net.
Hopefully RMU is able to do what they did just as they did against Slippery Rock and make a comeback here in this game 1.
They trailed by 4, but they also trailed by 4 in that Slippery Rock game where they came back to win it 27-25. So they're more than capable of doing it.
I believe Slippery Rock was facing match point, and then RMU just ran off a incredible streak to take the match.
Yeah, it was like 20. I want to say 24-20, and then RMU rallied back to win 27-25. They actually faced 2 match points in there, but both times came out ahead. But they've got their work cut out for them right now as they trail 20-15, make it 21-15, as that ball goes flying off into the Duquesne bench. And now the Dukes 4 points away from winning game 1 of this match.
Duquesne starting to take a little bit of control in this match. RMU needs to get a point to get the serve back.
Set up here looking to attack the middle. And that ball dropped. What a hit by number 5, Alexis Troy. I mean, that ball had a lot of pace, and then it just sunk like a rock right at the baseline.
There was a very strong spike. I would not want to be in front of that.
Yeah, if I was in front of it, it would be looking like Scott Sterling out here as Duquesne leads by 7. Timeout called. RMU trying to just kind of collect themselves and figure out, like, all right, what can we do to get these points back here before the end of this one, if possible.
RMU's going to need to go on a run here if they want any chance to win this match.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen them do it before, but, you know, that was from a 4-point deficit. This one here, granted, they have a few more points to concede as opposed to it being 24-20, but 22-15 is, I think, a bit tougher of a hurdle to overcome.
Right, 7-point lead right now for Duquesne. They're probably feeling pretty well about how this match has gone.
I mean, I would certainly think so if
Right.
I were them as well. I mean, it was pretty close up until that run just a few moments ago that kind of gave them this lead that they have. And this is the biggest lead either team has had all game.
Absolutely.
So serving it here will be Celia Haupt. Picked up by the RMU defense. Goes to send it in was Reynolds.
Meeting at the net goes Duquesne's way.
And that will make it 23-15. Duquesne 2 points away from taking game number 1.
They've looked very impressive so far.
Yeah, in every game we've seen of this Duquesne squad, they've more or less had the upper hand. I don't know how their other games have played out against the non-RMU opponents, because obviously we've only been covering the RMU games so far here today.
Celia Haupt sends that one right into the net to give RMU a point and the serve.
So, lining up here, I think that is Liz Sarsnick. She was the server who rallied RMU back in the Slippery Rock game. Let's see if she can do it again here against Duquesne.
Yeah, he down 7. Needs some momentum.
Pops it up. Goes across to Malcolm just past the baseline, out of bounds. And now, with the score at 24, it is game point for the Dukes.
Just a little strong there. Definitely some room in the back, though. I bet she wishes to have that one back.
Yeah. I almost just made a terrible pun, but I caught myself. I almost made a Malcolm in the Middle reference.
Oh.
But to the near side, or the far side, and that's going to do it. Rolling for it was the back line for RMU. I think that was Sarsnick. Unable to get there in time, though. So Duquesne is going to take game number 1. Final score, 25-16. We will be right back after this brief intermission for game 2, which will also be the final game that we're covering here today.
Welcome back for game number 2 between RMU
Wow, that one went
and Duquesne.
flying.
Oh, that was real flying over there, Nate. Cade McRoy now on the call, and a little bit of a breather for myself. Got to do the score for a little bit, but I got Nate Finn on next to me, and we're 2 Plum boys taking a shot.
Yeah,
this
very
one.
excited.
It's the first time, and since yesterday, the 2 Plum boys are on a call.
Right,
Andrew
right.
Keel. Serve coming in from Duquesne off the hand of number 10, Julia Graciela. And that one will sail high and wide and out of play. That one will go. And I believe we are at a 1-1 tie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a little ole there for number 5, Alexis Troy, to get RMU the first point for them. 1-1 now.
It'll be RMU serve from way downtown. We'll throw that one in, head up by 13, Haupt. Throwing in, RMU trying to chase this one down. Diving to make a play there was Ely.
Incredible effort there from the Colonials. Unfortunately, just couldn't get back over the net.
I'm going to say the libero, number 10, Victoria Ely, has been all over the court. We've seen that in previous games here for RMU Navy, and especially now in this game number 2.
She has. It's been very impressive to watch her play.
It'll be Joy Chen, number 12, on the serve for the Dukes. Played up by the Colonials. Ely playing it in front. They're going to put that one over the net. Trying to spike gets off a couple hands. Duquesne looking to settle.
Battle at the front.
RMU puts it right back in play. Bodies go up. And it looks like, I think that might go Duquesne's way.
Yeah,
After there's just a ton of hands in front of the net there.
just landed over the net on RMU's side. Unfortunately, no one there to send it back over.
It'll be Chen on the serve again from off the screen. And right into the net that will go. It'll be RMU ball.
Right into the net for Joy Chen to give RMU the point.
Looks like is that number 5, I believe, Kenzie Olawine on the serve, I believe.
I believe that's number 9,
9?
actually.
Debucci. Duquesne trying to play this one up. RMU. Looking for the long spike. Hits off a couple hands now wide, and RMU will get the point.
A touch at the net for Duquesne sends it wildly out of bounds, giving RMU the point.
It's
Now.
3-3. Thanks to Mr. Nate Mauser being our showgirl with the whiteboard walking by.
It looks like the boxing lady holding up the round.
That's spot on, actually. We just need him in the fit too.
Gotta get him in a dress.
Duquesne looking to put this one up. Getting up, trying to play that one. That hits off a hand and way open, wide and high and into the stands it'll go. No lucky souvenirs for the fans, though, as that ball comes bouncing back in.
I believe the man was not interested in catching the ball there. He just let it bounce right past him.
He is not afraid. He's like, if it hits me, it hits me. I mean, at this point in the game,
What's
I
the
don't know.
worst that could happen? I've been here for 5 hours.
So have we, man. So have we. That one sails off the top of the net and out. It'll go. It'll be Duquesne ball. So we see who will take the serve as they roll their way off the screen to go pick that ball up.
No place we'd rather be, though, here on this Sunday, as it's been very exciting volleyball.
It has, and then right after this, we get some Super Bowl action.
Yeah?
So it's always a fun day for sports.
Plenty of action today going on all around.
As that one was out, it'll stay Duquesne ball as they'll look to go again here after getting the point.
Who do you have winning the Super Bowl, Caden?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay.
Chiefs by a mile.
You showed me that little post earlier of Patrick Mahomes being out. It got me scared.
I did have to scare you a little bit. I know we were talking before the broadcast. We were like, oh, Mahomes is supposed to be sick or something. I see one of my friends sent to our group chat. They're like, Mahomes is he's out. And I'm like, this isn't real. And I looked at the date. It says 2019.
Yeah, he had everybody's heart racing.
Back into play here. Wild shot there, trying to get that one down and away. The net in the way, though, to kind of prevent that one, and Duquesne will head to serve once again.
Number 6, Macy Roble there at the net to make sure it doesn't go over for the Dukes.
The serve coming in. Off the hands, number 1, Lexi Rozanovich. Trying to spike that one down. Rozanovich keeps it alive. Go out wide, fire in off the top of the net. And the whistle is blown dead. It'll be an RMU point, I believe, after a hand might have gotten away there on the net.
Yeah, I believe they didn't get it over in the 3 shots they needed to, and therefore it'll be RMU's point as they now trail 8-4.
4-point deficit is not that bad here early on for the Colonials. It's not ideal, but it's still a very plausible way to come back into this game.
Yeah, Duquesne starting a little stronger than they did last match, but RMU still has plenty of time to get back into this one.
That was 7 Mateus Scott who put the heater on there, made RMU miss up front off the hands of Liz Sarsenik. It'll be a Duquesne ball. I believe that makes it 9-4 here in game number 2. Duquesne did win the first one after a hefty back and forth match.
Number 18, Bree Finn, stepping back to deliver the serve here.
Doing a little bit of a basketball action, getting the ball bounced quite a few times. Served right now to Ely. Diving down to keep it alive was Cecilia Hopt, but diving to the floor with the ball, and RMU will get the point.
Duquesne's libero, number 13, Celia Hopp, showing plenty of effort there. Unfortunately, just couldn't dig it out there.
We get a close-up there of the RMU unit there. It'll be the serve off the hands, number 5, Kenzie Wine. Make sure the shoes are nice and cleaned off.
Yeah, you got to keep that traction.
Ball comes sailing in off the hands of Alexis Troy of Duquesne. That one sails high and out. Did it get the line, though?
I believe it was long, but we will see.
Yeah, just outside.
Yep.
So RMU will get the point, and we'll make it 9-6, only a 3-point game now, as Olawine will serve this one in. Kept up by Troy. Troy going to spike that one down a little bit too far, I think, or did she get the line?
I believe she got that one in there. I'm not sure. We're going to see in a second. Yeah,
Yep,
it
she
looks
got
like
it.
she got it. Yep.
What a nice play there from Alexis Troy. Really
Yeah.
put the heater on. Now she's going to get the ball here to serve.
That was a very impressive spike to get Duquesne the point.
Troy puts this one in play. Kept up by Ely. Thrown in, double hand touch from the Colonials. And diving down to try to keep it alive was Hovanek, Duquesne gets the point again as they're starting to expand their lead here in the middle frames of the second game.
Yeah, Duquesne starting to insert their dominance so far early on as she spikes it right into the net on the serve. Alexis Troy does to give RMU the point.
That net has been costly quite a few times for some of these teams.
Yeah.
As they have the momentum running, and all of a sudden it just goes right into the net.
You'd think the net is a little higher than it should be this game because of the way they keep serving it into it.
Seems Duquesne has touched the net off the serve of Victoria Ely. And it'll be RMU point as Ely will go all the way back, almost outside to the parking lot to serve this one as we have to go way off the screen.
It's very interesting to see players' approaches as they serve. Some will just stand and hit it over, and some need a big run-up to jump in the air and spike it.
That one off the hands of Christina Amrick of the Dukes, and out it'll go. Oh, hitting her own teammate as Bree Finn was in the way. 11-9, Duquesne, the score. It'll be Ely.
RMU's libero looking to get them in tied positioning.
That's your
just down
favorite
two.
volleyball word is libero.
Libero. It's one of my favorites.
Spike from Alexis Troy into the net again. That's the second in about 4 plays for Troy. It's now only a 1-point game.
Shout out Texas's national championship
Okay.
volleyball team and Zoe Fleck, their libero. She was very impressive all year long.
Texas, goddamn man.
Hook 'em.
No, points down, buddy. Points down.
94-60
Okay,
against
okay.
West Virginia. Very impressive.
Okay. There's a diving play by Troy to keep that alive. Plays it outside. She'll throw it in. Ely setting it up. For the spike, trying to go to the top of the net. RMU will put it back in play.
Very strong spike there. Keeping it alive, though, is Duquesne.
As that one will sail, I think, just on the line. I think this will be Duquesne's point.
That was impressive.
That was-
Perfectly placed to get Duquesne the point there.
Ball placement, number 1 key.
Yeah, Duquesne definitely practices that a lot.
Hopped, the libero will send this one away. Ely plays it up to the front. Trying to spike it down, but denied.
Not sure if it either went into the net or was blocked by number 9, Christiana Amrick. Either way, Duquesne gets the point on it.
13-10 after that point. Hopped from out wide. Sent in as RMU looks to fire this one away, and I believe they got that one in.
Just barely
Yeah.
gets it in there to give RMU the point and the serve again. I believe they are now down 13-11.
I'm sorry, it'll be Duquesne's point.
Wha-
14
okay.
14 now for Duquesne.
My eyes must have deceived me.
I gotta tell you, these lines are really messing with my brain.
Yeah, that one goes flying.
Yeah, that was just off the hands, it looked like, of Molinaro, and just went way wide at that point. 15-10 the score is Duquesne inching closer to the 25 mark as they put on quite the performance here against both RMU Red and now against RMU Navy.
Yeah, sweeping RMU Red earlier on and then winning the first match against RMU Navy and finally taking impressive control as they are now up 16-10 in this second match.
Ely took a tumble there trying to dive for that play. She's sacrificing her body all game long, and we've seen it all day here on the
Yeah,
stream.
all day it's been very impressive to see them just sacrificing their body to make a play for the team.
As Ely once more tried to keep that up, but no help behind her. RMU is going to call a timeout as the bench does the wee bowling spin as they realize they got the timeout in their favor.
Yeah.
That is a fun I did not think of that as a celebration.
Woo!
I love wee bowling. That's probably one of my favorite games as a kid.
Wii Sports, all of them were very good to play, and I loved it.
So your RMU, you're down by a nice margin here, Nate. What do you think the coaches are telling them here?
You just got to take it a point at a time and don't worry about the score. Just win the point and do it over and over again, and you'll eventually find yourselves right back in it and then in position to win the match.
We've seen Navy already come back from a deficit against Slippery Rock in that first game that we saw for them on the stream here.
Yeah, reminding them of that will be crucial to being sure that they can mount a comeback once again against this Duquesne team.
Having a little trouble with the headset.
It's all good.
There we go. We're good now. 17-10 the score. After taking my headset off for a brief moment, I just couldn't put it back on my head.
Yep, we're good. Coming back from the timeout now as number 13, Celia Haupt, steps back to serve for Duquesne.
Hop sends it in. Off an RMU hand, they look to put that one in play. One final hit just over the net.
Very
Spike
strong
down.
spike.
Razanovic put that perfectly off the hands, and RMU just couldn't get back after that point.
Strong spike there for number 1, Lexi Razanovic, and then has some swagger at the end of it.
Some volleyball swag. It'll be hopped once again from outside. Fires that one in, right to Ely. Thrown in by the Colonials, just too
long.
far out there. A little too much mustard on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe try ketchup next time.
Oh, that was good. I like that one. Hopped, puts it in. RMU diving down to keep it alive. Ely plays it back wide for Olawan. Excuse me, number 5. Troy
Right up
played
into
in.
the net there for number 9, Christiana Amrick.
It'll be a serve here for the Colonials. First time we've seen a serve in about 6 or 7 points. As Duquesne has been on quite the run here.
Yeah, not sure what the exact score is, but Duquesne has opened up a sizable lead as they are now up 19-11.
It was Sarsenik on the serve for RMU.
She caught a little bit in between there, either wanting to jump up or just lean back, decided to lean back.
As Rosnovich went diving for that ball and just couldn't get there in time. And RMU gets a key point here as we get a close-up there on Liz Sarsenik on the serve.
Yeah, Liv Sarsenik, one of those players that I referenced earlier that just chooses to stand and serve it over rather than running up and spiking it.
What a spike there from the Colonials in front. I think that was, I believe, number 9, Debucci, I think, got the final touch on that one.
Yeah, very strong spike and perfectly placed.
It was either Debucci or Olawan. I wasn't sure if it was a 9 or 5.
Wasn't sure either. I did not catch it.
So a 6-point deficit now, 19-13, in favor of the Dukes. Sarsenik sends it in. Diving to try to keep it alive there. Going to the ground was Olawan. And now 20 points here for the Duquesne Dukes. So they inch closer to 25.
Yeah, slight lack of communication there for RMU. Not too sure who was going to take that ball. Landed in their zone, unfortunately, to give Duquesne the point.
It'll be Grace Arlia on the serve. Sent in by RMU, but I believe they were out of bounds, so to stay a Duquesne ball. Grace Arlia will have the serve once more, number 10 in blue. As I believe now it is 21-13, I believe.
Lays out there to make the play. Very nice from number, I can't tell.
RMU
there.
jerseys do not look good on this TV.
Looks like number 9, Christiana Amrick, but don't quote me on that.
Kept alive by Ely. Plays in front, trying to spike. Hands in the way. Bouncing around. Keeping it alive for the Colonials. Ely tries to turn and put it back in, but the net was in the way. I think Choloval was one of the hands that got in there. Including Malcolm and Havanek as well. It's 22-13 as 3 points to go for Duquesne to capitalize on this game.
Duquesne inching closer as they are now just 3 points away.
Diving down, RMU keeps it alive, but on the ground, couldn't keep it in, was Olawan. There's now 2 points to go for Duquesne here to capitalize on the victory.
Our camera's slowly leaning over as Alex, our producer, thankfully adjusts it.
Just in time. Off the serve of Alexis Troy. In front, a hand goes up, and Colonials just missed. It looked like a miscommunication between the front men. And now, game point, match point in favor of Duquesne.
Yeah, Duquesne's looked strong all day so far as they've simply been in demand every match they've played.
Grace Orlia sends it in. Coming down, trying to spike it and getting through the lane. Good job from the Colonials to get that point right back off the hands. Number 2, Ameline Malcolm.
Very strong spike there to keep the Colonials in this match.
Colonials on their last legs here before pool play begins. On our last game we'll be covering here on the Twitch channel.
I believe that's Kate Hovnak sending it over.
As that one sails wide, RMU will get the point as they chip away at that deficit that Duquesne has, and they're still at game point, match point, are the Dukes.
Yep, and RMU's just got to take this 1 point at a time now, as they can't do anything unless they give up. If they give up a point, like they did there.
Yeah, Hovnak just, I believe, got a little bit too far on that, and that'll do it here as Duquesne clean sweeps the Colonials, both red and now Navy, in the last 2 games. Final score 25-15. It's been a fun day here of volleyball here at the RMU Rec Center. RMU didn't get quite the results they wanted to in the later half of these games, but I think overall phenomenal performance overall.
Yeah, RMU played well against both Slippery Rock and IUP, but once it came time to face Duquesne, they just weren't up for the test.
I mean, it's been always fun to have the women's volleyball team here on the channel. We get to cover the plethora of games here. Obviously, we won't be able to cover the pool play moving forward, so that'll be our final game we'll be covering here from the RMU Rec Center. From our entire crew, Mr. Nate Fennell, first time on the broadcast. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was very exciting. Enjoyed it very much.
And then the rest of our crew, Miss Natalie Calfacaro, who have the pictures up on our website here within the coming days. Producer, Mr. Alex Gannon, along with play-by-play throughout most of the game. Nathan Mauser, Emily Carey, who also stopped in on the color commentary. I'm Kaden McCrory saying so long here from the RMU Rec Center, and we'll see you next week for a plethora more of RMU streams.